Welcome back to another episode of the Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Wender Querio, and today we're going to be talking about wellness, fitness, nutrition, and basically it's going to be what's working for me and what I'm doing differently. And we did do an episode, if you want to go back and listen to that, I think it's like episode 3 or 4. It's called Fitness Obsessed. For sure, listen to the interview I had with my good friend, Tara Bilek. That was a great episode. But today we are going to be focused on like what I'm feeling and what I've been going through when it comes to just like my body composition and how I'm adjusting and editing things and what's actually working. I'm going to talk to you guys about what's actually what I'm seeing a difference, like what I'm applying right now that's different than I was before and why it's making a difference and how it's making a difference. But also I've done some research because I want to figure my body out. I mean, I'm not one that settles. You guys know who I am. I'm one that when I'm obsessed with something and I'm a wellness girly, right? And I'm a doer. So I want to research how to biohack my body and figure out my body because I will not settle. And this is my PSA for you today, especially women who are listening to this. This is my PSA for you. We need to stop settling. I work with women online when it comes to wellness. Obviously, I work with women in the wellness community, fitness, nutrition, but also in the mindset space and personal growth space and business space. And in all those areas, they're all different, right? But in those areas, I hear people saying, well, this is where I'm at now. So this is just the way it is now. This is how my business is going now. This is how social media is now. This is how my body, I have belly fat, and this is just the way it is because I'm this age. We don't have to settle. What we need to do is come together as besties and figure out a plan of action. And my plan of action may not be one size fits all, and it may not work for you, but I'm going to share it anyway, because maybe some of the things I share today that are working with me, you'll try it and you'll like it. And do you guys like my money tree? If you're watching on YouTube. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that there's my money tree. But anybody who would rather, like if you're on an iPad listening or you want to listen onto your TV or whatever, these are up on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Mindy Wender. And there's like a podcast tab there. All my podcast episodes we're working on it, but we have like 5 episodes up there. This episode will be up there fairly quickly since we're trying to do things more in real time now. I don't know. Some people want to watch the video and some people want to listen, but either way, you'll have it up on YouTube from now on. So just make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube channel so then you can be notified every time I upload the video portion of the podcast. I don't know. There's just sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast and they're interviewing somebody or they're talking about something and I'm just like, I got to see this. I'm a very visual person though. So that might be why. Other times I'm fine with listening, but sometimes I'm like, I got to see what they're talking about and see what this person's wearing, see what this person looks like. I see this person's money tree. It's a plant. A money tree is just a plant, but I'm like, we're definitely putting it in the office if it's called a money tree. So what are some things my dogs are going to bark? This is real life podcast. Okay. So what are some things that what I started to feel, why I wanted to research this, why I wanted to edit, why I wanted to adjust is because I was feeling how do I put this? I was feeling like I could just like pop almost. Like I'm a small person, I'm a thin person, but that just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. Newsflash. I was like the most unhealthiest. It wasn't that I was overweight, but I just wasn't fit. I wasn't toned. I wasn't strong. I wasn't healthy. That was back in the day before I got into fitness. And I took off some time from workouts because I wanted my body to just have time to heal. And I had a lot of inflammation in my body. I actually got a lot of tests done to just see what was going on because of how I was feeling that I'm going to share with you today. And because of that, I actually wanted to take a break from workouts for a couple months just to let my body focus on reducing the inflammation and healing. So I took some detox supplements and just regular supplements that I had been taking before and added some new ones in. And anybody who wants to know about my supplements, just write me on Instagram and shoot me a message and say at Mindy Wender or at Obsessed or Not Interested and ask me about that, because that would be like, I feel like I need to do a whole episode on supplements, which I will in the upcoming episodes. But if you want to know now, write me. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just comment. And yeah, I can let you know. So what I was feeling is around 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, had this midday crash. But I couldn't have a midday crash, by the way, because I have 5 kids. And so I had to go pick them up from school. And then after school, I'm running them one to this baseball and then the next one to baseball games. And then most of the times we're dividing and conquering where I'm at Lane's baseball game. And then I'm driving over to Mason's and Joey's at Lennon's. And it's just 3 kids in baseball season right now. So it's a lot. Moms, you get it. If you're a sports mom, you get it. And even if you're not a sports mom, you get it. It's a lot. You don't have time for a nap. And I'm not a napper. I could lay in bed for an hour in midday, even though I'm so exhausted and I really could use some sleep. I just can't sleep. So I was experiencing this midday crash feeling where I felt like I had to take a nap every single day, mid afternoon. I wanted more coffee. I was like surviving on midday caffeine. Another reason why I gave up caffeine during the time that I took a break from workouts. I was craving really bad foods. Okay, raise your hand if you've been craving sweets, if you've been craving processed foods lately. And what I chalk that up as is, first of all, I'm craving these things because I'm eating them more often, especially when you're a busy mom and doing all the things. So I was eating more processed foods, I was eating more sweets, and that makes you crave more of those things. And so I just was like, I got to change. We need to detox myself from these things. I don't want to feel this way. Okay. And then here's the real reason that was just really affecting me is this lower portion of my stomach was hard as a rock. I remember waking up one day and I ate a mango, and I used to do intermittent fasting. We'll get into that. And I ate a piece of mango, and like 10 minutes later, my stomach was hard as a rock. It was inflamed. It didn't feel good. It hurt. And I was like, what is happening to me? Why do I look 4 months pregnant? We're going to get into all of those things. So I was struggling with that belly fat and very insecure about that. Be like, okay, I'm working out, I'm eating clean, I'm doing all these things, and I look pregnant. Like, what's happening? And then for my workouts at that time, what I was doing was I was lifting weights, and I was also doing HIIT workouts, which stands for high intensity interval training. So I was doing, my cardio would be either a high intensity spin class, a HIIT workout in a spin class form, or a HIIT workout where I'm like jumping all over the place and doing high intensity intervals. Okay. And then also I was doing intermittent fasting, like I said. So I wouldn't eat until like noon. And sometimes busy mom life, I would skip meals. And I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't really aware that I was skipping meals because I just wasn't aware. Like I was busy, I was like, oh, I'll eat later, like putting that on the back burner. And I was not tracking my life. I was not tracking my food. I had no awareness of what I was doing. I was running around so scattered, so like chicken with my head cut off. I would wake up every single day with a to-do list running through my head. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to get this workout in. I got to go to baseball. I got to clean my house. I got to do the laundry. Like all the things were just always running through my head, which made me stressed. So my cortisol levels were through the roof, and I was stressed, scattered, not feeling accomplished every single day because I was running around thinking I was busy all day long, but not really accomplishing anything that actually needed to get done. I feel like we can all relate to this stuff. I hope so. And also at that time, I wasn't tracking and paying attention to what I was eating. And so I know that I was consuming a lot more gluten and dairy than I would normally do. I try to just reduce gluten and dairy. I'm not like psycho about it. I'm not, one that's like, unless I do a test and I'm like, okay, I'm getting rid of these out of my diet. They don't serve me. It's just that I have 2 special needs kids and they don't usually eat gluten and dairy. So, I mean, Lily does not at all. And then Hudson doesn't really either. So I don't know. I just was like, I usually try not to eat it. And because I don't know, I've done research for them and I just know that it's not really good for you, not good for everybody. And I feel like try to reduce eating that. Okay. So that's kind of where I was. So majorly the things that I want to stick out to you that were bothering me was feeling midday crash. I should not feel like this. You guys, you know me. I'm this wellness girly. I try to do good. I try to work out every single day. I try to get my steps in. I drink my water, which by the way is my new favorite water bottle. And if you're on YouTube, you saw that. And I'll link it below if you're not. So you can just go to the show notes and I'll link this bottle and I'll tell you why I like this bottle in a second. Actually, I'm going to tell you now because last time I did this on one of my solo episodes, I forgot to come back around and tell you. The reason I like this water bottle is because there's no straw like the Stanley. And I love my Stanley. They're so cute and all the colors. And I still use it once in a while. I really do love a Stanley. But why I love this is because just hear me out. Guys, I saw a TikTok of a girl who's, I don't know, an esthetician or something. And she created these TikToks about how sucking out of a Stanley straw, drinking out of a Stanley and using the straw, which most of us do who use Stanleys, it actually will give you wrinkles like you were smoking, like a smoker your whole life because of the sucking and like if you're on YouTube, you're seeing me, but like the motion that you make when you smoke a cigarette, it's the same thing when you drink out of a Stanley straw. So I don't want the smoker wrinkles. So I got this water bottle instead. And I heard that this is like 30 some ounces, 30 some. We don't know, 32 ounces. This one is, but I heard there's bigger and I'm going to get a bigger one. My husband bought me this when we were traveling because I needed a water jug because I didn't pack mine. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's easier to drink out of. I consume more water with this. Okay. We'll get back into it now, but I love that. And I'll link this water bottle in the show notes for you because it's freaking bomb. Okay, let's get back on track. Okay, so then I want to talk to you. So those are the things that were really sticking out to me is that I was wanting a midday crash, feeling like I needed a nap, and I'm looking 4 months pregnant. So I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I did in order, or not in order, I should say, that I've researched and that I've tried and that are currently working for me. And if you go to my Instagram on the day that this is, it's at Mindy Wender or at Obsessed or Not Interested. Go to my Instagram accounts and I will post a picture of like just how things are going right now, because I want you to see like where I was to where I am now. Okay. This is what I'm doing that's working. Are you ready for this? Number one, I have a balanced diet focused on whole foods and protein. Underline protein 3 times. So I'm not a cook, so I really like to keep it simple and basic because if it's not simple and basic, my ADHD brain will not stick to it. It's just the way it is. I will not. So what I have to prioritize what is important and what this is who I am. This is my ADHD brain. This is why I'm great on helping people in business and training people in business, because my ADHD makes me want to wants me to, first of all, get obsessed, research the crap out of something, and then break it down in the most simplest, absorbable form so I can absorb it and apply it, and so other people can absorb and apply it. That's why I've been able to train thousands of women in business, in personal growth, and all these things, because that's how my brain works. And obviously, that's how your brain works because you guys really like the way I present information. It's easy to absorb and it's tangible, and you guys dig that. So maybe you have ADHD too, or maybe we just like simple because the world overcomplicates everything right now. Let's just go back to the basics and keep things simple. So that's what I like to do. Break it down, keep things simple, and focus on what I really need to prioritize what I really need to focus on and what's important when it comes to nutrition. So I prioritize protein, lean protein. I try to have 1 gram of protein per body weight. So over 100 grams of protein a day. Now, I don't weigh 100 pounds. I just want to say that. But I just am like, I try to be realistic. Okay, so I should be having more protein. But as long as I get 100 grams every single day, I'm happy. That's just for me. That's what they say, though. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the information that I've researched. They say 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat, or per pound that you weigh. Am I saying that right? You guys get the point. I don't say things very eloquently, but you get me. So if you weigh 120 pounds, you should have 120 grams of protein. Boom, you got it. So I prioritize getting lean protein over 100 grams a day. I prioritize vegetables and certain fruits. I love berries. So I don't want to overeat fruit, but I definitely think fruit is very healing. I'm not the person that like, I'm not having any sugar ever again. And that's including fruit. No, that's not me. I like fruit and I'm going to eat fruit. And I think it's very good for you. So that's what I do. So I prioritize lean protein, vegetables, some fruits, um, unprocessed foods. So I try not to, doesn't mean I don't. I try to reduce the amount of processed foods that I eat because, again, I was craving lots of processed foods and craving lots of sweets. Didn't want to do that anymore. And whole grains. And like I said, I tried to reduce gluten and dairy. Okay. So then doing this and being more aware of what you're eating and I shouldn't say aware, being more intentional about what you're eating and all that kind of stuff, it helps you to reduce your overall calorie intake if that's something that's your issue where you're overeating. For me, I was skipping a meal. Some days I would be binging on carbs and processed foods and sweets, and other days I was skipping a meal. So, with that said, it helped me become more intentional of what I was eating. So I wasn't having like sometimes I'm like under my calorie intake, and I'm not a calorie counter. I'm not a macro count. I'm not that girl. Besides trying to ballpark 100 grams of protein, I'm good. I'm not counting calories. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I feel like that's a great way to do things. And by the way, I have a wellness tracker that I created for people in my newsletter. So if you want to be on my newsletter, I created a 7-day journal with prompts because a lot of people are like, well, what do you journal about? I don't know. I've never journaled before. So I created a 7-day digital journal where you could just download it, print it, and have it. And each day has a different prompt that'll spark some ideas to start journaling. So it gets you in the swing of things to start journaling. I have that. I have my wellness tracker. I have my Mindset 101 ebook. All of those things you can get if you go to mindywender.com and sign up for my newsletter. Otherwise, go to the show notes or the description in YouTube, and there will be a link there to sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get access to all of these things, especially my wellness tracker. When we're talking about what we're talking about with food, it just, when you track what you're eating, I don't want you to get obsessive if you struggle with that or anything like that. I don't like to get, you know how I am. I'm very all or nothing. So I don't want to get obsessed, but I also want to be intentional and aware. So I did this wellness tracker. This is what I personally did in my hyperfocused journal. So if you have the hyperfocused journal, you can just do it in there. If you don't, you can download this wellness tracker. A lot of people with the hyperfocused journal downloaded the wellness tracker as well to go with their morning routine, and it's helped them. What this does though, you're writing it down, even if it's for a week, 2 weeks, or a month, and it just helps you be like, okay, I'm aware. And then after like 21 days, 30 days, 14 days, whatever it is for you, because everyone's different, you'll be like, wow, I don't need this anymore. I'm not craving those things anymore because I cut out these things out and reduced this. I'm more intentional. I'm more aware, and boom, I got it figured out. I don't need the wellness tracker anymore. And some of you may just like it, because the wellness tracker is pretty cool. I will say this. It talks about other things too, like affirmations, gratitude, what was great about the day. And then it has your wellness tracker stuff on it as well. Okay, so that's basically what it was, but definitely reducing sugar, not in fruit, but reducing my sugar and refined carbs was a big part of this. So remember, I always said I was prioritizing protein. My other priority was to reduce sugar, processed food, and refined carbs. So minimizing my intake of sugary drinks like alcohol. Hate to tell you that, but I gave up alcohol. I gave up coffee, and I'm going to get into that. But those are some things that I had to give up because I'm like all or nothing. Well, I just needed my body to have a break from workouts, my body to have a break from caffeine, my body to have a break from alcohol. And you guys, you could do this for 7 days. You could do this for 3 months. Like I did it for 90 days, 90 plus days, because I ended up going a little bit longer. Whatever works for you, that's what you should do. But sometimes just that mindset of like, I'm giving this up for 3 days, I'm giving this up for 7 days, or I'm taking a break from alcohol and caffeine for 21 days. Just doing that, it just resets your body, it resets your mindset, and it also makes you not crave those things as much as you used to. like white breads, pasta, all those things. Those things can contribute to belly fat, which I was experiencing. Okay, before we get into number two, I wanted to let you know why the coffee situation. I'm 39 years old, so I have issues with my hormones right now. Hello, who doesn't? If you're over 30, you probably have hormone issues where you're like, why do I feel tired? Why am I having random anxiety? Why do I have random depression? I didn't feel like this in my 20s. Why am I feeling like this now? And maybe you don't, but if you do, you probably have some hormonal imbalance. And if you go to a regular doctor, they're probably going to tell you you're fine. So I recommend contacting somebody like Dr. Vandermissen. She was on the podcast before. Actually, go back and listen to that episode because she gives a lot of tips that you can apply today to help with hormonal imbalance and to help with all this stuff. Otherwise, contact her and she can run tests to see what's going on with you. She did that for me when I had that piece of mango and I looked 4 months pregnant and I was looking in the mirror. Actually, when I would get out of the shower, I didn't even want to look in the mirror. I would get out of the shower and I remember this is exactly how I felt before I got into fitness 15 plus years ago. I would get out of the shower and won't want to even look in the mirror. And I remember the day that I was like, caught a glimpse of myself. I'm like, okay, this workout program that I'm doing with Body is actually working. I'm really liking this. And it just made me want to share that. The feeling that I had looking in the mirror where I wasn't insecure and I actually liked what I saw. That is when I was just like, I got to tell everybody about this. I got to shout it out on the rooftops because if this is happening for me, I want to give other women, other men, this same feeling of confidence and security. And that helps your marriage. It helps, I mean, everything. When you walk into the room, you're more confident. It helps everything. So with that said, I remember feeling that way where I didn't want to look in the mirror. And here I was working out, eating clean, doing personal growth, like doing all the things. I thought I had it all figured out by this time, 15 years into my fitness journey. And I'm looking 4 months pregnant and I was like not liking looking at myself in the mirror. And I get it. We have weeks, days, whatever, where we're just a little more fluffy, a little more whatever. But this was like consistent over a long period of time where I looked pregnant and bloated every single day and I felt like I could pop. I just didn't, it's more when you're small, when you're a smaller person, it's more about how you feel, right? Do you guys get that? And I think that goes across the board for us women. It's about the how you feel day in and day out. Day out. It's your energy to play with your kids. It's how you feel in your clothes. It's how you show up as a wife or a husband. It's just, you guys get it. And so then I contacted Dr. Melissa. She ran tests. And one of the things she told me to do was remove coffee from my life. She said, oh, not remove coffee from my life. That's what I did because I'm all or nothing. She told me to see my husband showed up and the dog started barking. And this is what happens, ADHD. What she told me to do was to not have, here, perk up your ears, ladies. If you're having hormonal issues, do not have coffee first thing in the morning. I know it sucks. I hate that I had to tell you this because I was like, I'm not doing that. And I didn't listen to her. But she talks about this on the episode. So go back to listen to the episode with Dr. Vandermissen. I can get you that. I'll link the episode in the show notes as well. But she shares about why and the cortisol levels and it spikes them. And then all of these things matter for us women. I'm sorry to tell you. So she says to have a meal. It could be, she says protein's great. Having protein first thing in the morning or having, I have like my Shakeology and that has protein plus some other things in it. And I'll just do a half a scoop and I'll shake that up and I'll drink that first thing in the morning before coffee. But so I did that and that helped a lot with belly fat and bloating for me. But then I decided to just cut it out completely and give myself a break from caffeine for 30 or 90 days. I'm sorry, for 90 days. And I gave up caffeine, alcohol, and workouts for basically 90 days. Okay. Number two, let's talk about fitness. Let's talk about regular exercise routine. What I was doing was a lot of HIIT workouts, a lot of jumping, a lot of killing myself, like getting that your heart rate so high and jumping high and jumping high and doing high intensity stuff and then low and then high and then low HIIT workouts, right? what I had to do after I gave myself this break and now I'm back into things, this is what is working for me. And I'm like, huh, sounds so simple. And what that is me doing a lift program, the program I'm following, where you can go wherever you want to find your workouts. I know YouTube has some workouts. There's just so many people online sharing workouts. I don't want to look online. I don't want to go on there and be on YouTube every single day and finding a video. But if you are good with that, that's fine. I like to just go in my gym, go on my computer or go on my spin bike that has like it's a body spin bike and then it has like my body platform right on the TV there. Or if I'm on my computer, I can pull up my body platform. If I'm on my phone, I can pull up my platform on a TV. It's an app. It's like downloading Netflix. So I go on there, click my workout, and boom, I'm going, and I don't have to count my own reps. I don't have to think about what move is next. I don't have to think about what muscle groups I'm going to work today. I have somebody in my ear reminding me about good form and how form's so important. I have some reference of how high my weight should be because they're sharing this person's weight and that person's weight. It's just, to me, it just takes, I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? I for sure can, but to me it's just easy. I can just follow along to a professional celebrity trainer who's training me, and I'm like, cool with that. I'm cool with that. So that's what I do. It's called Lift 4, and it's a strength training program, and it's 4 days a week. I lift 4 days a week. Okay. And I do core all 4 days. I end every single workout working on my core. And so like yesterday, on Tuesday, I was going to say Monday, but Monday was Memorial Day. I don't know when you're listening to this, but I did not work out Monday. So Tuesday I did back and chest, and then ended with core. And when I end with core, it's 2 different exercises, and you do it 30 seconds each exercise, and then you do 3 sets of those. So 2 different exercises, 30 seconds each, 3 sets. And I end every single one of my 4 workouts for the week. I end with core. So my focus is on lifting heavy weights. And right now I'm starting from, I'm right. I gave up working out for a while. So I have to start slow and I have to focus on form. And as I get stronger, I'll move up in weights. And as I get stronger, I'll move up in more weights. So I'm definitely not lifting like I used to. And I'm okay with that. I'm being gentle with myself and being kind to myself and all the things. Okay. So that's what I do. And then end with core. And then for the cardio, what am I doing? This program has HIIT workouts. That's why it's called Lift 4. And the way it's spelled is like HIIT. I don't do the HIIT workouts, guys. I follow the lifting and the core. But when they talk about when it's time to do the HIIT workout, I walk. I skip that part and I get a walk in. And obviously the walk is going to be longer than the 15-minute HIIT. I'm okay with that because the HIIT is not working for my body anymore at my age and where I'm at. So walking works for me, and getting on my spin bike and just spinning for a longer period of time. Like the HIIT workouts just don't work for me anymore. And it doesn't work for a lot of people that are over 35 and have hormonal imbalance. It's not a big deal. We don't have to settle, right? Remember I said that we don't have to settle, but we just have to adjust and research and figure our bodies out. Quit doing the same things over and over and over and expecting different results. If you aren't getting results from what you were doing, you got to change things up. That's it. So I focus on lifting, walking or on my bike, and core. That's it. And then stretching and stuff. There's stretching that I'll do on my off days and rest days and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing. I will put the link to get that body platform that I use. You don't have to use it, but I'll put the link for that in case you want to. You can get it. It's just like a gym membership. You can do monthly, or you could do quarterly, or you could do annually. Obviously, annually is the best bang for your buck. But either way, what I'm doing today is just telling you what I use. And if you can do whatever you want. Okay. So let's just see here. The next thing is managing your stress levels and practicing relaxation techniques. Remember how I told you at the beginning of this episode how I was feeling scattered and all over the place and just stressed and all these things as a busy mom and a working mom. What helped with that is 2 things: morning routine, developing a morning routine, and using my hyperfocused journal. I can, you guys can go back and listen to my morning routine episode and see what I do. You don't have to do that same exact thing. Develop your own routine. And I'm telling you, go to my YouTube, look up my goal setting video or like my morning routine video or whatever, and I'll break down what I do with my hyper focused journal. I'm not going to go through it on this episode, but I literally show you so you can either get my journal if you want, but you don't have to. Do it in a notebook. All I want you to do is create a morning routine and get yourself in the habit of doing affirmations, gratitude, writing down a to-do list regarding your goals, and then creating a to-do list for like all the other things in your life. It's going to give you peace, clarity, make you more calm, less scattered, less like no more stress. Like you're going to actually accomplish the things that matter to you and the things that you want to accomplish. You're welcome. Okay. The next thing is number 4, stay hydrated and drink plenty of water. I already talked about my water bottle. Stanley is my other one, or this one. I'll link both. Get yourself a cute water bottle. I'm telling you, I know that dudes are probably like, no, that doesn't work for us. Okay, dudes, I get it. Just get yourself a water bottle. I don't care. Make it be black or camo or whatever you want. Girls, you need a cute one because then you'll be more likely to drink it. And what I put in my water every single day is trace minerals. I'll link it in the show notes. Trace minerals. You can get them on Amazon. I put those in my water with a fresh lemon. And lemon will help detox your body. It's a lot of hydration stuff. I also in the morning, and again, listen to my morning routine episode. Please listen to it because I talk about my morning routine, my pre-game supplements. Because if you are going to do the coffee thing that we talked about and not have coffee until you have something in your stomach and, whatever, if you're going to do that, I give you ways to make that work in your morning routine. Like give you something to do so you're not like just sitting there waiting to have your coffee. I do my pregame routine prior to coffee, which is my morning supplements, and then I have my shake, like I said, so I'm not doing it on an empty stomach. And then I go into doing my skincare routine. Anyways, listen to that episode. It will help you so much with that. And then also, if you want a coffee alternative, I'll link it in the show notes, but Ticino, you can get this at Walmart. You can get this at Amazon. It's an herbal coffee and it actually helps balance pH levels in your body instead of like where coffee is very acidic. And it tastes like coffee. A lot of people don't like it, but like, hey, if you want something warm and that's why you like coffee, it's something warm, something that tastes a little bit like coffee, you'll get used to it. Ticino's your answer. Okay, so staying hydrated, limit your alcohol consumption because alcohol can cause anxiety. Alcohol can dehydrate you. Alcohol, for sure, hands down, doesn't matter how much you have, it's disrupting your sleep. With all of that said, I still have cocktails. I still like a glass of wine at dinner, not every dinner, but like if I go to on a date night, I'm going to have a glass of wine. Here's the thing. 80-20 rule. That's me. That's Mindy Wonder. 80-20. 80% of the time I'm following a thing. 20% of the time I'm living life. And if I really have some goals that I want to hit and I'm really, it's 90-10. 90% of the time I'm on my game and 10% of the time I'm living life. You have to have balance and do what works for you. Okay. Number 5, monitoring your progress and staying consistent and tracking your food. Like I said, I use the hyperfocus journal. If you guys want that wellness tracker, it's really helpful to get you on track with all that stuff and help you be intentional, help you be focused on your goals, and help you have self-awareness. There's so many women that I've worked with, myself included, where I'm just like, I don't get this. Why am I so bloated? Why do I feel like this? Why have this, and this? And it's like, oh, that's because I skip meals. Or, oh, that's because I literally had a box of cereal when I got home from work and ate a whole box of cereal before dinner because I was so starving because I skipped meals during the day. These are just things that we're like, oh yeah, that probably, we're not thinking about it. So this wellness tracker that I created, again, go to mindywonder.com or click the link in the show notes to sign up for my newsletter and you will receive that. Anyways, that will help you a lot. Just printing a couple of those, even if you do 30 of those, printing 30 of those, that PDF and doing it for 30 days, that's going to help a lot. Okay. And then what else? Mindset. Stop chasing wanting to be skinny or doing things just for the way you look. It's about how we feel. And also we don't have to settle. like I've said at the beginning of this, we're not settling. We're going to figure it out because you deserve to feel good and you can feel good. We just have to get in tune with our bodies, figure out what's going on and biohack that and like figure out or change things up. At the same time, stop chasing skinny. We don't need to be skinny. It's not all about that. And also, we should be chasing feeling strong and sitting up tall and feeling confident. And I'm telling you, if you're over 30, you have to strength train. There's no way about it. You have to lift weights. And I'm not saying just like 100 reps of a 5-pound weight. That's old school. You need to be lifting heavy, doing a program like Lift 4 or Dig Deeper or Lift More or Shalene Extreme. These are all on the Body platform, but just look at what those workouts, what are they focused on? 10 reps lifting hot, like heavier weights. And heavies, I can't tell you what pound because heavy for you is definitely different for me. Like we're not all the same. And especially where I'm at right now, I'm working my way up to where I want to be. Okay. So, and then I stopped fasting. Another thing I did, I stopped intermittent fasting because it wasn't working for me anymore. I remember when I first started, guys, it worked so good. I was like telling everybody they have to do it. But now I'm 39 years old. Things change. My body's changing. My hormones are changing. Intermittent fasting doesn't work for me anymore. So you just have to test these things out. If you're doing intermittent fasting, don't do it anymore and see how you feel for a period of time and just test things out. Let's see here. The next two things is supplementation, having certain supplements that help your body. And again, I'm going to do a whole episode on supplements, but also go back and listen to the episode with Dr. Melissa Vandermissen on hormone imbalances. That's going to help you so much. But I'm going to do a whole podcast episode, and you'll want to probably watch the video one because I'm going to take you into my supplement drawer and my routine and show you what I do every single day during that podcast. That'll be like in next week or the week after that. But supplementation and things healing for your gut. For example, one of the things I added to my daily routine when I was feeling that bloat and looking pregnant, I got bone broth and I would drink it once or twice a day because bone broth is very healing for your gut. And there's some other gut protocols that I'll talk about in the supplement episodes that I started that really helped me a lot. And then I don't get me wrong. I wasn't like on this, thing. I still went on date nights and ate, 90, 10, 80, 20. I still live my life. I'm not saying you can't live your life, but these things will help your gut. This will help heal your gut and all the things and balance your hormones. Okay, let me just check. Did I get all the things? Okay, so that is what's working for me now. What I have noticed by doing those things that we talked about today is I've noticed that I feel like I have better posture. I feel stronger. I feel like and by the way, the scale has not moved. It's not about the scale, the number on the scale. It's about the feeling I feel in my clothes. It's about how I feel stronger. It's how my core is tighter. It's especially like the reduction of bloat is like my biggest thing that I can tell you. If you are experiencing belly fat or bloating, the things that I said on this episode, try them out and see how they work for you. It's about healing the gut, changing things up for your body, editing things that may have worked for you in your late 20s, early 30s. But now if you're over 35 and it's just not working anymore, don't settle, just adjust. Okay. Repeat after me. I'm done settling. I'm going to adjust and figure it out. Okay. If any of these things were helpful, please just comment on Obsessed or Not Interested's post about this episode. Also, if you're on YouTube, comment and ask questions in the comment section. And then go to the note section for anything that I talked about on this episode. I will link everything in the show notes. And then stay tuned for our next episode. I'm going to go through all the supplements that I use on a daily basis and all of the things for like healing the gut. All right. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday.